What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to some FIFA 14 goodness. And today I've got an interview with a man called Marcel, who is in charge of a lot of the Ultimate Team stuff that goes on. So myself and Toby, or Tobias Gaming, decided to sit down and ask him a few questions. So today I'm going to be covering the topics in front of your screen now, and if you guys are interested in just skipping to that point in the thing, then you can feel free to click on the annotation and that should take you right there. But I'd recommend you guys just listen to the full thing. It's only about 10 minutes long, and this is just part one. We have part two going up as soon as possible. And also, guys, there's a huge change in chemistry. So if you guys would like to check out an entire video based on the new chemistry stuff which has happened, and it might explain a few of the changes that you see on some of the screenshots that I'm going to show you guys. You guys might not understand a bit of it, so go ahead and watch that because I would highly recommend it. So there'll also be a link to the chemistry video as soon as it goes live. Anyways, let's take a look here. The first one is the removal of formation cards and morale. So that they've decided to remove formation cards in this game. They've also introduced something called loyalty. You guys can skip to there if you're interested to hear more about that. Also, there's a new manager system. Managers actually now have more of an influence in your chemistry. And then there's also a talk of some new formations and positions in Ultimate Team 14. And then single matches are back. Hallelujah. And I asked him why they took them out. Also, there is some matchmaking questions that I asked him. I know a few of you guys had some issues with matchmaking this year. And then also there are new search criteria. So when you're searching for a player on the market, there are some new little options that you guys can choose. And of course, I asked him that question as well. So feel free to watch the entire interview. That's what I'd recommend if you want a full explanation on all of those things. But you are more than welcome to skip to wherever you feel you are most interested in. But I hope you guys do enjoy this video, and I want to say a huge thanks to Marcel to sitting down with me and Toby and answering my questions. He was a lovely guy, and I hope to be speaking with him soon again. But enjoy the rest of this video. So the very first question that I actually asked was about formation cards this year. I'd heard some rumbling around that, there was going to be some changes to formation cards and things like that in this year's Ultimate Team. And I wanted to ask him, if I have several players, or one player in particular, and I have him in one team and I want to use him in a different team, but those two teams have different formations. I'm fed up of having to buy continuous formation cards and having to slap them on the player every time I want to use him in a different formation. So this was his response.
Yeah, you can try to buy formation cards in 14. You won't have any success because they are not there anymore.
Oh, so they're completely gone now?
So we did some usability research around our chemistry system with new users as well as experienced ones. And the two things that came up as people don't understand it or don't like it was the gatekeeper of formation when you make new squads, as well as morale. People didn't enjoy the morale system. They felt it was arbitrary, didn't understand how it works. So that's two pieces that we removed for chemistry, around chemistry. Always when we remove something, we want to add something. So the things we added this year was the manager's going to have more of an impact based on his nationality and his league. And he can also retrain his league. So if you have an EPL manager and an EPL team, he gives you a bonus for your chemistry.
Okay. If you have another, do you say bonus 3?
No.
Oh.
It gives you one bonus.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then the other thing we added is loyalty. So every player you get from a pack will have a loyalty bonus off the bat. But if you get a guy from the transfer market, you have to earn his loyalty by playing with him for a number of games. Right now it's at a 10. We're not sure it's going to stay like that, but that's right now how it works.
So, as you can see, he just revealed a bunch of new info in Ultimate Team. And let's kick it off with the first thing he said. There are no more formation cards in Ultimate Team. Hallelujah. That is a blessing. I am fed up of having to put on a new formation card every time I use a player in a different formation. So, gone with those, thankfully. And then he goes on and he touches a little bit on about managers. Now, at the moment, for me, in my opinion, I think managers are a little bit useless at the moment. I personally hardly ever use them. But now they have something more, something a little bit better, and it's now that you can train them to be in your league, in a particular league, also their nationality, and what it does, it gives an extra 1 chemistry, as expected, as it usually is, but now it matters a little bit more about the league that they're involved in. another thing that he briefly touched on was in fact the loyalty of players. So as you may have heard, if he comes in a pack, he gets an extra 1 loyalty, and this is kind of cool. It's something that FIFA players have kind of wanted for a little while, which is progressive chemistry. And to me, when I first heard progressive chemistry, I was really excited for it, but it's got to be done in moderation, in my opinion. If it's done too much, it gets a little out of hand. So I think they've added a nice little touch in how if you get the player in a pack, you get an extra loyalty chemistry, essentially. But also if you play 10 games with him, that's what he's at the moment, is 10 games with a player, and you will get that loyalty chemistry bonus. So moving on to the next question.
So, and I suppose it's a similar sort of case when it comes to position cards as well. Like I said, if I want to play Royce in a striker, but a centre forward in a 4-2-3-1, is position cards still in, or have they been taken out as well?
We don't want to completely take out the impact formation has onto the game. So the position cards remain essentially unchanged from last year. So you can play whatever formation you want, but you might get dinged a little bit based on a position not existing in a specific formation.
Right. So there's not any sort of way that one player can essentially learn 2 positions, so they can, so I can interchange them between striker and centre forward easily.
No, that's one of the things that we read a lot in the forums, that people would like to do that, especially the more hardcore users. We don't have that for this year, but it's something that raises up and up in the priority.
Okay,
as we want to please you guys for sure.
Yeah, okay.
So as you guys will have just heard there are position cards in FIFA 14 Ultimate Team. So we did get rid of the formation cards, but position cards are still there, and that's kind of good. I'm glad they've taken out formation cards for sure. I'm a little bit, disappointed that position cards are still there, and the players have yet to be able to learn positions, because it is still going to make it a little bit irritating when I'm swapping a player between 2 positions, between 2 different teams. So, but besides that, it is a step in the right direction. I'm excited to see where all that leads. As you may have heard in that last little clip, he was saying that is on his priority list, kind of, and it's making its way out there. So hopefully in the forthcoming Ultimate Teams, we will see something to do with that. But let's move on to the next question.
Are there any new formations or positions?
I can't talk about it right now. We are working on something. That's all I can say right now. We have to figure out some technical stuff around this. There may or may not be some new formations in 14. But that's definitely something that's above the line that we want to achieve for this year. So I'm pretty sure that something's going to happen in terms of the formation you have available within FUT.
Okay.
Formations was that, or positions? Formations.
Formations, yes.
Formations, yeah.
Like there's a lot of what we saw was from just data that especially the variations of 4-3-3 and 4-4-2 are used a lot within FIFA.
Right.
And we don't have those in FUT, so we're really trying hard to add those.
For sure.
Before we are getting closed down in terms of shipping the game.
So as you can see, Marcel wasn't able to reveal too much on the whole new formations, but it does seem as though they are going to try and push in some new formations just before they ship the game, which is going to be fantastic, especially if they do get around to doing it, because like he said in the little audio clip there, the 4-3-3 variations and the 4-4-2 variations would be fantastic to have in Ultimate Team, and it's about time they added some new formations. Let's be honest, guys, at the moment it's getting, we're all very comfortable with the ones. It would be nice to see them throw in a bit of a spanner in the works, I suppose, just to make it a little bit more interesting. But yeah, so that's that. Like I said, he wasn't able to say too much, but he has revealed that they are trying to put some new formations into FIFA 14 Ultimate Team. So moving quickly on to the next question, we have one of the biggest things that you guys wanted, and that was single matches. It is confirmed that it's back, and I just wanted to talk to him a little bit about that and essentially why they took it out in the first place, because I didn't really understand that. So let's go ahead and listen to what he had to say.
Can I just ask, what was your reason for taking it out?
Yeah.
Well, how come you took it out in the first place?
Yeah, it was, we saw the precedents in FIFA 2 years ago when they added their seasons mode. What they wanted to make sure there's actually enough people that go into that mode, because you need people to matchmake with. So they removed their single online match to funnel people into those modes. So we saw it was successful for FIFA, so we wanted to do the same for FUT. Right. This is also the decision we made to only have 5 divisions instead of 10. We're going to go to 10 divisions as well this year, because we saw that a lot of people are actually playing it.
Yeah.
But then we even didn't think about the stuff that you guys brought up with, is that is a mode where you can try out stuff without suffering the consequences.
Yeah.
So losing a game doesn't really matter that much in that mode. So that's why we brought it back, so that you can actually try out new players, new formations in that single mode.
So that all pretty much makes sense for why we didn't really see single matches in FIFA 13 Ultimate Team. So he kind of explained why that was the case, and he explained it pretty well and kind of gave us all a good reasoning as to why they didn't have it in. But I'm just really happy to see that it is going to be back in FIFA 14 Ultimate Team, because like he said, the community kind of let everyone know that it was really important for us being able to try certain players and just have a pretty decent matchmaking. And on the topic of matchmaking, I wanted to ask Marcel a little bit about matchmaking this year in FIFA 14 Ultimate Team, and he gave me a pretty decent answer on this.
Another thing was that one of the big reasons why I miss single matches was not only just to try out things, because that was obviously quite important, but was also that in single matches the matchmaking was actually very different to online tournaments, online tournaments and seasons, in the sense that I could go in with a bronze team coming against a 5-star gold team. It just didn't really matter too much. Is that going to be the same this year, or is it just is a single match? What I'm trying to say is, a single matchmaking going to be, if I play with a bronze team, am I going to be going up against a bronze team, or am I going to be coming up against a gold team?
I would like to tell you matchmaking is black and white. It's a lot of grey in matchmaking, because what we don't want to is have you sit there for too long and wait for an appropriate match. So if you go in with a bronze squad and there's only gold squads playing, you'll be matched up essentially against the gold squad at one point.
Yeah.
But what the matchmaking this year does for the single match, it takes into account your squad's rating and your chemistry level. So those are the two things that are counted for matchmaking.
Right, okay.
So it tries to find you a more equal squad.
Right, okay.
So if you go in with a bronze squad that's rated 64 or 63, then it's more likely to find you an opponent that is in the same range.
So as you guys can see, EA kind of struggled with finding a nice marker for matchmaking, and it looks like this year they may sort it out. But as you can tell, like he said, if there's only people running around with gold players or gold squads, then you're going to be matched up with a gold squad. But it does seem as though it's going to be very similar to FIFA 12 Ultimate Team single matches, where if you have a bronze squad, you will be coming up against a bronze squad, which is good, and I'm glad to hear it, because it's not that much fun going up against, you know, these gold size when you just start out with your bronze squad and things like that. So I recommend, guys, if you guys, when you start up your new Ultimate Team, definitely go straight into single matches, because that's where the matchmaking is going to be a little bit more fair. And once you build up a gold squad, then you want to jump in divisions, and then you want to jump into tournaments. So I'm glad that's all cleared up. So the next question came from Toby, and I was actually doing this interview with Toby, if you haven't already realized, and it was about the new search criteria on FIFA 14 Ultimate Team. They've actually released the new criteria, which is going to be out, so you guys can actually search from player names. You can actually type in someone's name to go and search for it, instead of wasting time going through, you know, a nationality, a league, a club, you know, that sort of thing. It is a lot quicker. So Toby asked the question, and let's hear what Marcel had to say.
When searching on the Ultimate Team market, you mentioned earlier about the player name search. Is that the only new addition to search criteria?
No, it's not. The player name one is just the one that's very visual, and you can really easily show it. People understand you right away. For you guys who have a little bit more insight, there's two more major ones we've added. The first one is a compare player one. So wherever you're in the game, especially useful when you open a new pack, you get a silver 74. You don't know, is this guy actually worth anything, or is he just a discard? So you can press compare player. It'll show you all the other players of this exact player that are on the transfer market, so you can quickly compare the price. So we won't tell you exactly what he's worth, but we'll tell you what other users posted him for, so you can at least see quickly, oh, this guy's just a discard, or yeah, I can list him for 30,000 coins or something.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, it was very cumbersome if you see a guy you want to replace in your squad, or if you have an empty slot in your squad, on the squad screen, back out, transfer market, search. So what we can do now from the squad screen directly, you can highlight any player and say search transfer market, and it will find you players in the same position in this information that are listed on the transfer market. And also you get a little compare widget where it tells you, if you were to purchase that player and put him in your squad, this is the impact you'd have on chemistry and overall rating of your team.
So as you guys can see, EA have obviously added quite a bit to the new search criteria, which is awesome to see. It's nice to see them developing that side of things. I'm happy to see that. But that's going to wrap it up for this particular video. There is still more of the interview, and if you guys would be interested in checking that out, make sure you drop this video with a like. Make sure you leave a comment asking to see the second one. And yeah, I'll get that uploaded to you guys as soon as possible. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed some of his answers, but I'm going to try and get you guys the rest of the interview as soon as possible. I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye-bye.